kids, we're all told to chase our dreams. For Cincinnati, that dream is a flagship convention center hotel. On the front page centerpiece this week, rolling the dice on a bet that might lead to a signature hotel or a major hole in prime downtown real estate. The Millennium is closed for business and has been for a month now. Bargain hunters were at a liquidation sale last week looking for everything from furniture to TVs and even some grand pianos. As for what's next, that's the big mystery. The port will issue tens of millions of dollars in taxpayer-backed debt to buy and demolish the worn-out hotel. City leaders say it's a necessity because not having a flagship convention center hotel is costing us big time. And this is a big dollar project with a lot of unknowns, and there's a whole lot of financial jargon. That's why we brought in one of the two reporters who tackled this story this week. Chris Wetterick is here with editor Rob Dahlmeyer to break it all down for us.
Thank you very much. Chris, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So the word conundrum comes to mind for me with this property. Why is this building, or these two buildings, why is it such a conundrum?
So our leaders have wanted to have a new convention center hotel for more than a decade, probably decades. And earlier in 2019, there were basically two different plans before the current one. One was to basically have a private developer build a convention center hotel just south of the Duke Energy Convention Center. Then a developer named Rob Smijunas, swooped in and acquired the rights to buy the Millennium Hotel, and he assigned those rights to the county, to the Port Authority.
Right.
And so that's kind of the latest plan, or that was the plan last summer, basically, and that he would basically facilitate a transaction which, would put a new convention center hotel on the Millennium site itself. And so now they feel like they need to do more financial due diligence, and they need to have a better overall plan for that block, for the area around the convention center hotel. So they're doing a study right now to explore what should go there and how big the convention center hotel would be, as well as some other issues.
What's the ultimate goal? If we're looking ahead 5 years and we're walking past that part of downtown, what's the goal for that property? What should we see?
Right, so the study is going to inform the city and the county and the stakeholders' decision. So they're going to try to decide, okay, do we need a 600-room hotel, an 800-room, a 1,000-room? And do we also need to do something with the convention center itself? It's aging as well. It was last expanded in the early 2000s. And so they need to look at things like they need a larger piece of contiguous space to compete with other cities like Indianapolis or Nashville, cities of our size that we compete with for convention business.
Yeah, you go to Indianapolis or some of these other neighboring cities, and it's quite clear that they have these gleaming, shiny flagship hotels, and we don't. But and it is such a cost to the city. What's the next step? This is going to be a long process, but what should viewers kind of be looking for to happen next?
Right, so by March this study should be complete, and they should start to outline publicly what they think should happen. Then the city and the county and the Port Authority and the Convention Facilities Authority, probably some other players I'm even forgetting about, they're going to get together and try to make a decision. It's going to have to be collaborative. We're not always good with collaboration in this town amongst governments, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out and whether people are going to get along and make a decision.
And so I mentioned 5 years a second ago. Could we see something? I mean, is that horizon too long? Is it something shorter?
I don't think so. I mean, the ideal goal, I think, for the Port Authority, what they told us in the story is have a plan by the time the Millennium comes down, which is going to take 1 year once they acquire it on Valentine's Day. So their goal is to get it down and then have a plan in place in 2021 and hopefully put it into action. But we just don't really know at this point.
The long and short of it is, folks, make sure you read the Business Courier, because we're going to have a lot more stories on this. And back to you.
Thanks, Rob. Certainly a big story we'll keep our eyes on.